We are following a rapidly escalating crisis in the Middle East with the potential to reshape global security in the last few hours. Tensions between the United States, Israel, and Iran have exploded into open conflict. What began as joint U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on Iranian targets has now triggered retaliatory ballistic missile launches from Iran targeting U.S. military bases in the Gulf region. Explosions have been reported. Airspaces are closing. World leaders are on high alert. Stay with us as we bring you the latest developments. Here is the sequence of events based on confirmed reports. U.S. and Israeli airstrikes hit central Tehran near Iran's presidential offices and the Supreme Leader's compound. Explosions and smoke were visible across the city. U.S. President Donald Trump addressed the nation, declaring the United States is at war with Iran. He vowed to annihilate Iran's navy and obliterate its missile industry. He emphasized potential American casualties, but framed the action as necessary to counter Iran's nuclear and missile threats. He also called on Iranian citizens to rise against their regime, promising the hour of their freedom is at hand. In retaliation, Iran launched missiles toward Israel. Sirens sounded across Israeli cities. At least one missile was intercepted by air defenses with no reported injuries. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated the strikes aimed to establish a free and peaceful Iran and end the Ayatollah regime entirely. Trump reiterated the U.S. commitment, warning of major combat operations and offering Iranian military personnel immunity if they defect, or certain death if they resist. Netanyahu described the operation as a preemptive move to neutralize Iran's military and missile programs. Iran issued a stark warning, declaring there are no red lines anymore and that everything is possible now, including responses that were not previously considered. Reports emerge of an explosion in Bahrain with plumes of smoke visible, believed to be linked to incoming Iranian missiles. Iranian ballistic missiles are now targeting U.S. naval bases in Bahrain, home to the U.S. Fifth Fleet, and Qatar, where Al Udeid Air Base serves as a key U.S. central command hub. The U.S. embassies in both countries have issued urgent shelter-in-place orders for personnel and American citizens. The United Arab Emirates announced the shutdown of its airspace as a precautionary measure. Qatar's defense ministry reported intercepting an Iranian missile over its territory using Patriot defense systems. The security situation is described as stable but tense. Yemen's Houthis, aligned with Iran, have announced they will resume attacks on ships in the Red Sea, potentially disrupting global oil supplies. Iran, Iraq, and Israel have all closed their airspaces to civilian traffic. These strikes follow weeks of failed negotiations over Iran's nuclear enrichment and ballistic missile programs. President Trump has repeatedly warned that Iran's arsenal could soon threaten the U.S. homeland, though current missiles primarily endanger regional U.S. assets. Experts warn this could spiral into a broader conflict involving allies like Saudi Arabia and potentially closing the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil flows. Unconfirmed reports speak of protests in Tehran and heightened U.S. military presence in the region, including additional air defense systems. The Pentagon has repositioned assets with some troops reportedly moved from Qatar and Bahrain as precautions. The White House has not yet detailed the full scope of U.S. involvement, but President Trump described the operation as aimed at destroying Iran's threats totally. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has declared a state of emergency in Israel, urging residents to prepare for incoming attacks. This is a developing story with global implications. Markets are volatile. Oil prices are spiking. Diplomatic channels are scrambling. We will bring you updates as they come in, including any statements from the United Nations or other world leaders. For now, if you are in the affected regions, follow local authorities and stay safe. Stay tuned for continuous coverage. This has been a breaking news update.